But do you find it like, because I am, a recovering alcoholic, and I do clubs every night, right? Mm-hmm. And I am. It is a difficult thing to navigate in terms of just in terms of seeing all the drinking and the partying and everything that goes on, and then me still trying to be a part of. I want to be a comedian and still want to be able to, bond and connect in that way. I find it to be difficult at times, especially because I don't know if you know this, but in this last year I've been really dry. Like I have been to 2 meetings this year. Right. And so I'm in my
super irresponsible.
It's so irresponsible, yeah. And I am I have to admit I'm very moody.
Yeah.
I'm a dry drunk right now. I'm very and I just find myself at the clubs, even there are things in my head like, oh, what if I did, what would happen? Like I think it through even more than normally.
I did that. I've done that.
Yeah. And it always ends up when I think things through, like if I smoke pot with Chappelle right now.
Right.
And then next day, what would happen? I think to myself, I relapse. I can do whatever I want now, and then the ball just kind of keeps going and going, and so it is. Yeah, it is irresponsible of me.
I think the paradigm is mistaken. If I can just correct you. For
please.
A second.
This is what I wanted.
There is a prevailing thought, not just amongst people who are addicted to substances who have gotten clean and sober, but I just think generally in society that when you stop taking the substance for which you're addicted, you are somehow denying yourself something. And the opposite, for me, when I'm healthy in my head, and it's not always like this, but most of the time it is these days, I'm not denying myself anything. I am stopping doing something which actually I loathe, but I had difficulty not doing. So the idea of saying, I want to have something that I cannot have, or now that I've relapsed, I can do anything I want. I actually think the opposite is true, that I feel like, for me, my alcoholism takes this manifestation, which is, it is an allergy which manifests itself as a compulsion. So if I take the substance, the alcohol, the allergic reaction to that is a mental aberration which thrusts me into compulsive behavior to drink more alcohol, and so the cycle of addiction continues. All you do when you get clean and sober is remove the allergic substance which triggers the allergy. It doesn't take care of you in any other way other than breaking the cycle of that. But any neurosis or any discomfort that one person, not you, Bobby, but me, Craig, or anyone who has these tendencies or personality types, what it does is that, it's all still there. Everything that you need to deal with is still there, just like people.
I know.
So
I know.
Get the fucking mean.
I know. I mean, it's so funny because, I've been around, recovery since I was a kid, right? Since I was in high school, and I know these things, right? I've read the book. I've read things, and I know these things, but I'm just in. I don't. It's so weird. I am in a specific weird state where I just can't. I don't know what it is.
Are you enjoying it?
Not really, no. I'm very moody, and she has to take the brunt of it, and it's really not fair to her, because we live together here, right? And she sees me snap or or me being in these like crazy like moods, and I'm well aware of what it is, right? I understand what the root of it, because I'm just in myself and in my thoughts, right? And it's a nightmare.
I want to ask you this, because, someone as labile as him, he's so up and down. And if you, it seems like he has...
I said this before we were on there, I really do think you could have done better, but it's fine. You've made your choices, and that's fine. I mean, Bobby's a great guy, but Bobby, I think you would agree with me.
Yeah, 100%.
Really could do better.
I know. Sometimes I look at her and go, what are you doing in this nightmare?
Anyway, sorry, you were going to ask me a question.
So in his mindset is, if I leave one thing, I have to replace it with another.
Yes.
And how do you break that idea that you don't have to replace it with another form of addiction or another compulsion?
Well, I think it goes back to what I said earlier, that you're not denying yourself anything.
Yeah.
So it doesn't. There is no scale or reparation. Like, if I don't have alcohol, then what do I have? Well, what you have is a release from the thing that's killing you and making you miserable and psychotic. So alcoholics are the only people I know that look for a reward for getting a gift in the fucking first place, which is you get the gift of desperation. That gift of desperation, if you read it correctly, will give you the gift of sobriety. And now you want something for that? You lucky son of a bitch, you got sober in the first place. So many people don't.
Yeah.
They cannot connect to the idea that it's not even the idea, it's just lucky enough I'm so fucking grateful that I got some moment of clarity that broke the cycle.
Oh God.
And allowed me to get
free. All right. I know what it is. All right.
Is Craig aware of your debilitating video game addiction and other things? Like porn addiction and all of that?
I would imagine that, we should really talk. But No, I feel that about everything. Like when I stopped drinking alcohol, I didn't stop being an alcoholic. I got more alcoholic in an odd way. But so I've had addiction. I haven't had an addiction to porn because I'm a Scottish Protestant and it's just way too uncomfortable. But I've had the video game things and then fucking Candy Crush But here's the thing about video games that, in my experience, not necessarily everybody else's, I've never played so many video games that I've blacked out and hit a cop. I've never played so many video games that I've broken the hearts of people who were misfortunate enough to love me. I've annoyed myself and other people, but the scale of what the damage of these things has, for me, now I'm not saying that that's not possible, but for me that has not happened.
Yeah.
And I seem to be able to put things down easier, with the exception of about a year ago I stopped going on social media. About 3 or 4 months ago I stopped going on the internet at all.
Wow.
And I experienced withdrawal from that in a way that I haven't since nicotine, really, which is about 20 years ago. And that I think a lot of people have and are unaware of.
How did you feel? Like, what was the feeling?
Restless,
was it a similar...
irritable, discontent, insomnia, wild mood swings, depression, all of the friends that turn up when you try to break an addictive cycle. It's very interesting.
Yeah, this is why you're here.
Yes, I know.
Listen, this is something that I needed to hear. Usually in this podcast, I yell at people and I tell people that I'm the king, and I make fun of him.
We're all yes men.
We're
glad
yes
you're
men
here.
Thing, right?
That sounds very healthy.
Right. Right.